What's good, everybody? Salty here. We got some more I Don't Work Here ladies, and they are truly pretty good. They're pretty damn funny. Let's get into it. This man assaulted me. Fire him. So I was at a Walmart the other day and was looking at some hair products. This lady comes up to me and says, "Excuse me, do you know where the diapers are?" Obviously, she mistook me for an employee, so I politely said, "Oh, I don't work here." She then said, "Don't lie to me. I know you work here. I saw you stocking the shelves." So a few minutes ago, I accidentally knocked over some products, but that clearly shouldn't have been enough for this lady to assume I worked there. Either way, I said I don't work here. As I walked away, I thought that would be the end of it, but boy was I wrong. She grabbed my arm and turned me around back to her. Now, I'm on the lighter side of guys, but still, it was hard for her to pull me. I exclaimed, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" as I retracted my arm from the lady's grip. "Don't you dare lie to me. We both know damn well you work here and you were just lying to me." I was appalled by the woman's nerve to not only assume I worked here, but to still believe it. I said, "Listen, I don't work here. You're gonna have to find someone else to help you." At that point, I thought this whole ordeal was done, but no, she slapped me. She slapped me. I pushed her away from me as I started to run away. She screamed, "Security! This man just assaulted me. Get him fired!" A security guard rushes to her as she makes up a story of how I'm an employee who was ignoring her, and when she confronted me, I assaulted her. Luckily, the security guard knew I wasn't an employee and the woman was escorted out. I still laugh about the moment to this day. Is that one real, bitch? This morning at the gym. Good morning, friends. I work at a tech company. Coworkers are aware of my account, so I will not say where I work. I was pumping some iron this morning, wearing a shirt of my company. This woman comes up to me, actually similar in age to me, and starts going on about how bad her experience has been with us. It's important to understand that I don't work with customers directly. I work in quality assurance. Here's the combo. Girl: "Hey, I have a bone to pick with you." "I'm sorry?" Your company, the shirt you're wearing." "Okay, what's up?" "The service I've had with you guys has been just awful. People don't show up when they're supposed to, and it's just been a mess." "I'm sorry to hear about that. Have you tried contacting our customer support team? They're available 7 to 7 every day." "No, I haven't, but that's fine because you can help me." "Not really. I have none of your account information, and even if I did, I'm not in customer support and I don't have the tools to assist you at the moment. Call customer support at 7. They'll be on and ready to help." "Well, it's your company and you're here with me right now. Just help me. Tell me what's going on." "Call customer support at 7. They will." "So you're not going to help me?" "I can't do anything to help you right now." "Unbelievable. When I do call in, I'll be telling your manager about you." Enjoy your workout." I would have walked away after the first time he told her to contact customer support and been out of there. Always double check what you're wearing. I work at a local appliance store and our uniform is a blue polo shirt and jeans. I had previously worked for the local big box store who just so happens to have a very similar uniform. I walk in to do my grocery shopping after work, probably around 6 p.m. On Fridays, the local big box store has a casual Friday of sorts where you can wear jeans instead of khakis and a blue polo. I walk around the electronics section for a bit, seeing what all is new. An older lady stops me and asks if I can answer her a few questions about laptops. I politely tell her that I don't work here, but I'd be happy to help until someone who works here comes along. She's asking pretty mundane questions, but I help her to the best of my ability because I'm pretty tech savvy and she reminds me of my grandmother. We chat and she keeps repeatedly thanking me and I tell her it's no trouble at all. I start hearing a foot tapping behind me and I can physically feel an eye rolling. I turn and there's a middle-aged woman tapping her foot with her arms crossed, looking agitated. I ask her if everything is okay and she proceeds to ask how dare I keep her waiting at the register. I politely tell her that I do not work here, I'm just helping this nice lady until someone who works here comes along. She proceeds to call me a liar and starts to call me every name in the book in front of this nice older lady. Now I'm mad. It never bothers me when people call me names, being in retail for 14 years, but don't do it in front of the elderly or children. I proceed to tell her, "Go find someone else to help you. I do not work here," and to lower your voice. This completely sets her off. How dare I talk to her this way? She's going to have me fired and I'd wish I'd been nicer to her. I tell her to please try and get me fired from a place I don't work. I'd love to see this. Then she says something that is still in my head to this day. "If only your mother and father had died before you were even conceived, then I wouldn't have to deal with such a miserable piece of crap like you." Now I'm fighting back tears because my father committed suicide not long after I was born. I take a deep breath and calmly reach into her basket, grab her eggs. I open it and put one over her head and crack it into my hands, dripping it over her hair. She screamed bloody murder and the older lady behind me just starts laughing. I begin to walk away and apologize to the lady I was helping originally and look at the woman walking away screeching about how rude my generation is. The funny part is my old manager was working in electronics and watched the whole thing and told me he tried with everything he could not to bust out laughing when I cracked the egg. I hope that one's true, man. Let me know in the comments if you think that one's fake. Either way, it's funny. Rare that you get a positive "I don't work here, lady" story. Very rare do you get one of these. Ma'am, I'm not in the Air Force. Thanks for the cake though. Before I tell you my story, I need to give you a bit of context. So at the time, I was a high school freshman who was doing Air Force, JROTC, at my school. For those who aren't familiar with JROTC, Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, it is a program for high schoolers to learn about military life and other things. Even though I was a freshman, I look about 4 years older than I am, so I looked old enough to be in the Air Force if I was in uniform. That day happened to be Veterans Day and all the local JROTC units always march and parade. After I finished marching, I decided to leave with just my mother and go grab a bite to eat. It was a bit of a surprise, so I didn't have a change of clothes. We decided to go to a local Red Lobster to grab a bite to eat. When we walked in, the staff at the front thanked me for my service, to which I explained I was a high schooler in a very embarrassed voice. We were then seated. Our waitress came up to ask our order and we eat our meal. After we were done with our meal, the waitress came out with a slice of cake for me. She told me they were giving out free desserts to retired or active service members. Again, I explained that I'm just a JROTC student. She realized her mistake, then gave me the cake anyways, telling me the offer didn't exclude future service members. The free cake was delicious. Holding a plate at a buffet equals working there. A few years ago, my wife and I went out to lunch with a friend to a buffet we all enjoy. While I go to a buffet, I like to leisurely walk around and look at foodstuffs before I grab things, so I don't have a full plate and go, "Oh damn," when I see them. Finally, refill, the one thing I was wanting. For this story, it's important to note that I am a Nordic level white, since it was an Asian buffet where only Asian people worked. I don't know if this is a Southern USA thing or not. Now at this point, I have halfway filled my plate and I am patiently waiting for a woman to move out of my way so I can get at that lo mein. The woman instead turns and looks at me and then at my plate and goes, "Oh, wontons," and proceeds to grab my plate and try to yank it out of my hands. I panic and my brain goes off in multiple directions at once. I try to say all these things at once. "What are you doing? That's mine. Are you crazy?" But instead it all gets jumbled up somewhere between my brain and my mouth. What actually came out was some sort of deranged pterodactyl screech at full volume. That entire section of the restaurant is now dead silent, and the lady is staring at me with a justifiable look of confusion, shock, horror. The guy on the other side of her, through his laughter, said something like, "Jesus, lady, that's stealing. They're like 2 trays over." The woman turned bright red and backtracked. "But he works here, or looks like it, so he should give me the food." At this point, a waitress who recognized me from as often as we go there cut in. "He no work here, he customer. Give him plate or he scream again." And the guy was saying something along the lines of, "Does he look Asian to you?" When I go back to the table, my wife and friend were laughing, going, "I knew that had to be you." To this day, the waitress and a few others of the staff still call me the funny screaming man. Oh man, what do you do if someone tries to grab your stuff? Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed it. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.